November is Hospice Month, and we continue to explore what hospice means and how hospice care can assist families. One hospice program is Zusman Hospice at Wexner Heritage Village. It's a program that can reach out to many families with the help of volunteers. And joining me is Monica Mayer. She is a volunteer manager at Zusman Hospice. And joining me, two volunteers, Keith Schuss and Nancy Heller. Welcome to all of you. Thank you so much for being here.
Gail.
And before we start the conversation, Monica, on hospice, explain what hospice is and how hospice can assist families.
Sure. Hospice provides services to folks who have life-limiting terminal illnesses during the last stages of their life.
And when people say they call hospice, it can be weeks, months. I mean, there are hospice workers that really will work with families for different periods of time, correct?
Yes. Generally, folks enter hospice when they have 6 months or less to live. And while sometimes it happens towards the last few days and weeks, ideally we like to provide some quality services to them as far in advance as we can to help them have the most quality of life at the end of life.
And part of that providing is providing volunteers.
Yes.
And you say that you could not do what you do without your volunteers.
No, definitely not. Our volunteers provide extra eyes and ears for our staff. They go out and see patients and they talk with them, visit. They can help them with things and then report back to our staff on what some of those things are that the patients may need, again, in order to have a better quality of life.
And Nancy and Keith, you are both volunteers. I have to say, this has to be very difficult work. And Nancy, I'm going to ask you first, why do you do this?
I do this because I think it is a huge privilege to be part of somebody's final journey. It's tough work, but the rewards are huge. When you are able to provide some compassion, some shoulders, some ears, some listening, or help facilitate families coming together, it's a huge reward, and it's a privilege to be part of that.
Keith, same question.
You know, I agree with Nancy. It definitely gives you an opportunity to have a positive impact on both a patient and their family going through this.
To me, it seems like such a sad time for families, and wouldn't that be how you feel then, Keith, when you're doing this work?
No, you don't want to necessarily think about it as a sad time, but it is that time. Mm-hmm. And how do we make it as best possible? My involvement began because I had an unhospice moment. I lived away from Columbus, and I had a parent that was dying, and we didn't have hospice. Mm-hmm. And so when I learned about hospice after the fact and realized what an incredible opportunity, that's when I really, believed in it and started working with it.
Now, Monica, we were just looking at some pictures of Zusman House. Will the volunteers like Nancy and Keith work at the actual Zusman building, the facility, or do your folks go out to people's homes?
They do a variety of things.
Okay.
They can come to our inpatient unit. They also go out into homes. We have a volunteer massage therapist. We have a volunteer who does come into the inpatient unit, and she bakes cookies and delivers it to the patients in the inpatient unit. We have volunteers who do go out into the home and provide respite for loved ones so they can stay with patients while their family members or caretakers will go and run errands or take care of business. So our volunteers can be used in a variety of ways. Another role that we use volunteers is also for administrative work.
Okay.
So there's generally two tracks that volunteers can be used for. They can
Some hands-on, obviously.
Exactly, for hands-on patient care, but then also for administrative needs that we have.
At the hands-on, some training is involved, because I'm sure Nancy and Keith weren't quite sure what it was that they had to do to help these families.
Definitely.
How long is that process?
We want volunteers to feel comfortable, and we want them to feel informed before they begin volunteering. So every hospice has different orientation and training programs. Our hospice does it in a way that we have them come and meet with me, and I do some background information on hospice, more details on what to expect and your responsibilities as a volunteer. And they go home and they do some self-studies where they take information home, and it's like an open book test.
Well, we're running out of time, Monica. We appreciate you being here, Nancy, Keith. Same to you. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.